everyone! Okay, so by the time this video comes out, this is probably the second time I'm redesigning or designing a den. So I feel like maybe no introduction needed, but if anything, I'll still give one. So basically, I wanted to redo this boring, starter den into a hidden garden. And if you watched my last video, then you know that I was raving about how much I love hidden gardens and I love just anything pink, green, forest vibe. But there's honestly no den to really make my image come to life. The only den that can really do its part is the small den that you get when you first start an Animal Jam. So like I said, this is a hidden garden type of vibe with a little hangout area. As you can see, those two chairs right there. This took me a while to make because I was a little I didn't know where I should put everything. But if you couldn't tell, the two chairs are engulfed in these trees and bushes, and it's like a little tea place. I have always dreamed of dressing up insanely beautiful and just having a tea party with all my friends. I actually wanted one of my birthdays to be a tea party in a garden. It unfortunately did not work out. I did not do that for my birthday, but hopefully one day I will. So I've always just been in love with gardens. I don't know. I love gardens. I love this I wish I could do this in real life. But what I also love just as much as gardens is redoing houses or dens, if you will. So I decided, why not? Because honestly, I had a den like this before this, but I got bored of it, so I was I need to redo it. So I was let me just film it too, because it's probably gonna look so much better than the old den I had previously before I did this one. In my opinion, I think it does look cooler. I don't have a picture, unfortunately, of the old den, but it did have the small den. So it was something kind of like this, but it was just all over the place, and it didn't look as nice, and I was kind of just people are gonna get mixed up and they're gonna go crazy in here. I need to fix it up. I need to make it a little bit more presentable. I feel like my favorite thing is every single month Animal Jam comes out with a new den, because I love seeing the design that they will come up with, or just the new den that they'll come up with, including the bundle. I think it's so fun. It's honestly something I like to look forward to at the end of the month. And I honestly cannot wait for the new houses that they come up with during spring and summer. I'm excited for those. There's this one, oh gosh, I don't know what it's called, but I've seen so many people with this den, and it's a spring cottage type. It looks like the small beginner's den, the one I'm working with right now. I mean, I don't really know how it works. I don't really remember the things that they came out with during springtime last year. But if you know what I'm talking about, the den is so cute. It has little tiny ducks. That would be my dream garden den, if anything. Also, I think one of my other favorite things to do while playing Animal Jam is just click on random people's profiles and go to their den and see how they decorate it. I love seeing everyone's different dens and how they decide to decorate it, and it kind of shows a piece of who they are. I think it's so cool. I love the representation of I go into your den and this is the type of person that you are. I think it's awesome. Especially when it's such a small place like this den, and you would never think that it's this den. You would never think it's a beginner's den, and I'm always so amazed. Actually, recently I was at this random person's den for a sapphire drop, and they had this small den, and it did not look like this den. I didn't even know. I was so shocked. It was like a pirate cove den. It was so cool. It was like half beach, half ship. It was honest. I should have took like a screen recording of it because it was so creative. I don't know. The den just left me completely speechless. I honestly wish I could show you guys. It was so cool. Like everyone was complimenting the person's den, but I've seen so many dens that are just amazing, and like my personal favorite is when people make it into like this magical forest type of like I just think those look so cozy in my opinion. I don't know. I wish you could like comment pictures in the comment section so I can see how everyone else's dens look like, because like I said for the past 2 minutes, I think your den is kind of a representation of who you are as a person. I think they're so cool. Or maybe you could like comment your handle and I can look at your den and just like, I don't want to say rate it, but I mean that could honestly be a really good idea. Maybe you guys can send me all of your like Animal Jam usernames and I can check your den out and like rate it 1 through 10. That sounds pretty cool to me. I don't know. Would you guys be down? Anyways, I'm basically done with my den. Comment down below if you like this den. Or comment down below how you would decorate this small beginner's den. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye!